Hope you enjoy. During summer vacation. Me, we're going to Japan? My plus dad. Yes, 2 weeks later. We're on the plane, 12 hours later. Me, wow. We go to the hotel. I start to fall asleep. Mom, we are going to a temple now. 5 minutes later. I'm really tired. Mysterious figure. The mysterious figure looks at a picture. Mysterious figure goes down to Earth through a portal. He blasts right in front of me. Me. Whoa. I'm in shock. Bum bum. Mysterious figure. I'm Aries. Me. Aries, I need your help. Me. Whoa, Aries, oh well, let's go. We beam up in a flash of light and beam down in an instant. Me. Nintendo Land, a godly apple shines. Me. Oh, Aries wants me to get that. For those of you who don't know, Aries is the Greek god of war. I start climbing some ladders to get the apple. The apple shines. Me. What do I do now? Aries suddenly appears in a golden outfit. Aries. Thanks. And he takes the apple and leaves in a poof. I notice a convention. Me. Yes. Huh. Yes. A convention. Yes. Yes. I notice a Transformer statue. I notice glowing stuff on my hand. It's definitely not a plot device and definitely not applesauce. A beam of light appears. Me. Hermes. Hermes, you didn't pay. Hermes, I'm mad. Hermes, you had to pay it. Button. Me, huh? I splat the golden applesauce on Hermes. Hermes, ew. Hermes blows up in a heap of glowing, burning stuff. Later. I'm bored. Me. Outside a battle between Transformers rages on. Me. Oh, the applesauce made them live. Me. Oh, my stop. The end.
Fishing Trouble by Kalia Young. In the summer of 2023, my family went to Japan. One night, we went to a seafood restaurant where we could fish for our own fish and then we could choose how to cook them. When I went to choose a rod, I wanted to choose one that was changing color. But when I touched it, the world started to become dark and darker and darker until everything was black. When I woke up, I was in a totally different space. A sign in front of me said that I was in a game called FUG, Fishing Ultra Game. I had to fish to get points and to go back to the real world. And so, I summoned my hint buddy with the watch on my wrist to explain the instructions. It said that I was in a game and I had to reach 1,000 points in 30 minutes. And so, I started the game. And so, I started fishing. I found out I was really good. And with Avery by my side, I was even better. She was telling me tips like the fishes that have more points are smaller, faster, and rarely appear. And so, I started the game. 24 minutes later, I reached my goal, but then I dropped my rod, and the siren started beeping. We were both shocked because I didn't know what I did. And so Avery asked me, "What did you do?" I said, "I dropped my rod." "Why would you do that?" Avery said. "You have to restart now." Then I fainted again. When I woke up, Avery told me that I only had 8 minutes to reach 1,000 points. "Well, I guess that wasn't a dream," I said. "It wasn't," Avery said. "And are you ready?" "Yes." And so Avery started the game. And then I rushed right to a tank to get started. I only had 8 minutes, 1,000 points. 7 minutes, 35 seconds, 7 minutes and 18 seconds. There's only 10 seconds left. I'm so sorry. It's over. I lost all hope when the clock struck 0, but then suddenly my rod turned into a net, a golden net. Avery was so happy. Yes, you got the lucky 10 seconds. Go, fish, now! And so the countdown started, and I fished a lot, and I exceeded 1,000 points. Congratulations, Avery said, you get to go home now. And so I went to the back door, and I pressed the button. Then the next thing I knew, I was back in Japan. Well, when should we start fishing? My dad asked. I didn't reply. My mind was filled about everything that happened. Then I saw a letter in my hand. Thanks for bringing joy in my life, seeing somebody escaping FUG. It was from Avery. She was a real person on Earth. She just got stuck in the game like I was, but got transported into a fish creature. Well, who's that from? My dad asked. Oh, a friend, I said. The end.
2023, A Space Mountain Odyssey. The totally not way too over-exaggerated story of about 20 minutes of my summer vacation, by Nikki Prindle. One day, I was going to ride Space Mountain at Disneyland and was about to board. I'd heard this version was better than the one at Disney World, so I was excited to ride it. At the same time, I was also kind of scared, saying that it was a roller coaster. Sadly, I don't like most roller coasters, even though I'm interested in them. Either way, in an unexpected turn of events, I said, I don't know whether to be scared or excited or what. Really caught you off guard, didn't it? So my mom, dad, and I got on the ride, and the first lift hill had all these cool light blue effects, and it wasn't too noisy either. The second lift hill, on the other hand, was noisy, so I proclaimed, "This is a noisy lift hill, probably reminiscent of the one at Disney World." Definitely wrong on my part. After we got up the lift hills, we rounded some slow turns with invisible track. Actually, were we even on track? After that was the first drop. Or was it? I couldn't quite tell at the moment, but roller coasters should drop, right? But then, dun dun dun! Instead of dropping, our car turned into a super high-tech rocket. It started flying on autopilot and whooshed past planets and asteroids, coming close but never hitting them. The ship was most likely bragging at how good at flying it was. My dad and I were speechless with awe, mostly from the fact that we were riding a roller coaster that turned into a high-tech rocket, but the beauty and vastness of space did factor in a bit. We couldn't process it at the time, but I later realized that our ship was called the SS Not a Boat. Must be some fancy alien word or something. We passed by even more asteroids, which were purple now. We weren't scared we would hit them because the ship had already done this show a few times. But then, gasp! Unlike literally every other space, definitely not fake, trust me. Story and history, there was an alien attack. Aliens shot lasers at us. Or maybe there was only one alien. One laser hit the underside of the ship, but it sustained minimal damage. Soon enough, we passed by an astronaut, so we knew our insane journey had almost come to an end. We were going at least faster than the speed of sound. We went straight up. Honestly, everything is up in space. And dive bombed straight back into Space Mountain, dashing through a porthole that opened just in time. Well, the ride was over, and holy beep, it was amazing. I wanted it to last so much longer than it did. But of course it didn't, and I had to get off to let others experience the best ride in the universe. So, as you could probably tell, after writing Space Mountain, I was absolutely ecstatic. So my dad and I wrote it again and again. Only that many agains, though. Should have been more. But hey, the three of us all got ice cream afterwards. It was pretty good, although I undeniably ate too much. I had a great time soaring through space. Is that a Disney World reference? Well, that's the end of my story, at least for now. I'm most certainly going there again. So, how'd you like the story? Was it good? Worst story you've ever seen? Okay? Inspiring? Dull? I don't know, you tell me. I just hope this wasn't a waste of your time. Have a good day, so long, and ta ta!
Ellie's Adventures by Vivian Yan, based off of the How I Spent My Summer prompt. This is how I spent my summer. I played in a small inflatable pool with my sister and dog Ellie, the scorching sun beating down on our backs, the red ball in her little mouth, and the splashing of our feet in the water. Eager as always, Ellie jumped into the pool, splashing me and my sister in the face. Her golden dappled fur splashed with shimmering water. felt my eyes adjust to see Ellie in a little pirate costume. She had an eye patch over her eye and a pirate hat placed on her little furry head. Suddenly, we went and sailed the seven seas together, my sister as well. The smell of fresh fish lingered around, and the salty sea rushed up against the side of the ship. The sail puffed up, allowing us to chart the waters and see sights that we haven't before. Then we were in a forest, with shimmering mushrooms and glowing plants, towering trees with vines for monkeys to swing and birds to make a home in. The night sky glistened above with scattered stars millions of miles away, bugs and animals chirping and hooting, the splashing sound of water cascading down waterfalls. We rode on the backs of jaguars and watched fireflies light up the night sky. We all started climbing huge mountains in warm weather with the fields of grass down below. The sky was a welcoming blue color with a couple clouds scattered around. It wasn't too hot and not too cold either, the wind running through Ellie's warm fur that shone in the bright sunlight, smelled of rivers and spring mornings. I breathed in, letting the wind ruffle my hair. Suddenly we were wearing huge furry coats and were canoeing down a crystal clear lake. Shimmering snow and hard icebergs were scattered around the area. The sky was a dull blue-gray color as the sun was setting. My sister was paddling along slowly, and huge snowy mountains were in the distance. Groups of penguins stopped and stared as we passed by, and Ellie's tail started wagging as well, her nose twitching, taking in all the new scents. The fantasy iceland slowly gave way, and tiny droplets of water started cascading down from the sky, and Ellie stopped splashing for a second to glance up. We were all suddenly in the backyard again. We stopped and looked around for a second, taking in the rain and the cloudy sky. Ellie stuck her tongue out and let the rain fall on her. It kept raining until the sun started to go down. We played until we couldn't any more, and until our fingers nearly fell off from the cold. Ellie never stopped playing. Her coat got soaked beyond recognition. By the end, we went to many places. Nothing would ever top that day if it ever tried. We had let ourselves get immersed in imaginary places. Whether it was a dream or reality, it was still one of the best days.
The Journey of Jerry the Dog. Hello, I'm Wendy and this is my comic. It has been 3 months since I saw the dog I babysat. I was upset for a long time until I found out that the dog is coming back. My sister made me believe that he would never come back, so I yelled at her. How dare you say he would never come back, I complained, but it wouldn't matter for the rest of the night, because at 9 o'clock the car pulled up. When the car pulled up, my dad took the dog out of the car, along with his stuff, and the car drove off. Bye. The next day, I took my dog Jerry out on her first walk, but that was only after I was able to get the leash on her. Then we headed out. On our walk, we encountered a dog, which had not so great intentions. He started to shrink Jerry while growing bigger. Wolf. Enemy dog had powers to show off. His neck grew long. When I was trying to tug the leash back, snap. No, right after that, the enemy dog had cloned many versions of himself. I was chasing right after Jerry, trying to get him. Right when the clones were in reach of Jerry, Jerry spun a force shield around him, bouncing back all of the clones. Jerry was able to take the shrink power from the enemy and used it on the enemy dog. Jerry put a shield on the enemy dog and sent him off on a good 2-year journey. Of course, he would eventually come back. Jerry considered it nice, as the enemy dog was able to see the whole galaxy. And that was our summer vacation. The end. Thank you for listening and watching.
My Summer by Evelyn Jane. This comic's about a main character, Evelyn, being late to her new summer camp and meeting new friends. I hope you enjoyed this comic. On Monday, the first day of summer rising, I was in bed peacefully sleeping, then my alarm woke me up. I want to continue sleeping, but then I realized it was past 7:30 a.m. I looked out my window and I saw the sun shining so bright that I could even bear to look out again. Oh no, I'm late, I thought. I didn't want to waste any more time, so I flew out of bed. I walked out of my room, walking to the bathroom to brush my teeth. As I entered the bathroom, I looked at myself in the mirror while zoning out about what I will do in summarizing. But as I was zoning out, there was a spider. I got so scared, I slipped on the floor. The time I got up, it was already 8:30. I quickly brushed my teeth and whatever I needed to do, so I flung the door open and ran quickly to my room to change. I ran to my closet as fast as I can and I opened my closet door, picking out all my clothes. But then I didn't have any shorts at all. I only had black jeans. And I checked the weather, it was 80 degrees Fahrenheit. But I didn't have enough time to complain, so I put on my outfit and ran outside. As soon as I went outside, I was sweating so much that I felt like I was in a pool of salty water. I quickly walked to my summarizing den and entered. As soon as I walked in, there were people that I didn't even know. So I sat down minding my own business. Then everyone got a worksheet for the grade they're gonna go to. So I read the question and I got mad and I was screaming in my head because I didn't know how to answer the questions. Then I got help from the kind teacher because they thought I needed help. On Tuesday, I found shorts in my closet, but when I wore them, they were too tight. When I got to my summarizing, there were more people than yesterday. As I tried to get to my seat, there were two new girls sitting next to me. We all talked and became friends. Both of them are in 7th grade, and one of them goes to Restless Age. When I was having trouble answering my math questions, one of them was so kind to help. She helped me, and I thanked her. At 12 p.m., it was time to eat lunch. The teachers ordered Chinese food. They ordered fried rice and noodles for everyone to eat. So me and my friends got noodles and sat back down at our table. After eating lunch, we all went to the pool as a field trip. I didn't go in the pool because I didn't want to get wet and I didn't bring the swimsuit either. After that, everyone went home and I had a good night's sleep. The end.
Welcome. This comic is about my summer. I am Mason Liang and I am in class 6A1. I hope you enjoy my comic. This is page 1 of my comic. This is the comic The Titanic Reborn. I hope you enjoy. This is page 2. On a beautiful day while everyone is lounging in the comfort of their home AC, we're hustling and bustling trying to pack everything into our average car. There's a lot of tension, but we get through it. We slowly watch our home grow smaller and smaller the farther we go down the block. On our way there, we crash, but our magical car fixes itself. We take a pit stop and then continue on our way. This is page 3. We finally arrived and we admired the beautiful hotel. Beautiful, elegant, we all repeated. We check in at the front desk and after half a day of driving, we are tired and decide to sleep. This is page 4 of my comic. We wake up from a loud boom. Suddenly our hotel moves by itself into the ocean, leaving destruction in its path. Everyone is screaming in panic. This is page 5 of my comic. We are moving along the ocean now at a steady pace, but there is suddenly an engine failure. A fire comes out of nowhere and everyone is panicking. The fire magically stops for some reason. Then a tsunami-sized wave sweeps us under the ocean and into the abyss. This is page 6 of my comic. We then hear a blood-curdling noise. One is singled out, one will be brought, one will deliver. I'm then abducted by mean mermaids and they tie me up. Somehow I escape and make it back to the boat. Some people help me up and I sit panting. Then everything goes black.
The surfing madness. It all started when one day I was on vacation in Cancun, having one of the most peaceful sleeps of my life, when I was suddenly awoken by a loud alarm clock. I jumped out of bed, but soon realized there was no reason to worry since I was on vacation. No need to worry about going anywhere on time. I was so excited to start all the fun activities. Soon I heard my mom call out, "We're going surfing, pack your things." I wanted to check out fun activities, but I did not have this in mind. Little did anyone know, surfing was my worst fear ever. I took a breather on the balcony. I never felt so scared. I was about to get over my biggest fear. I was pacing back and forth when I felt a strange gust of wind. Suddenly I heard a familiar voice say, "It's okay." I was so confused on where the voice came from. I looked in the sky, and there I saw Luffy the Cotton Candy Man. I obviously listened to his advice. Of course I was embarrassed to tell any of my family about my fear, so I just went along and listened to Luffy's advice. I knew it was normal to have a fear, but it just felt unusual to me. My sister said, "Here it is, our very own car. I hope you're happy." I opened the door and jumped right in, ready to start my adventure. There I was, excited to conquer my biggest fear ever. I looked outside the window, ready to see that beach. The sand and sand looked magical. This beach, this ocean, that surfboard is where I'd catch my first wave, or so I thought. I couldn't wait to get in, but of course, I couldn't go in all by myself, especially little to no experience. We sat our things down. I still couldn't believe I was about to do this. If skateboarding was hard, imagine how hard this could be. I took a deep breath and thought of how much a hero I would be. What is the worst those harmless waters could do anyway? So I paddled my way over, hoping for the best. After several attempts, I started to lose hope. Each time I tried harder and harder, but the waves would always end up just swallowing me. Those harmless waters, I thought to myself, I can't do this. I sat on the beach, thinking of how foolish I was for letting myself believe that I could accomplish something I was scared of and obviously terrible at all in one day. Me, a superhero, I thought, laughing to myself. Suddenly, I feel a familiar gust of wind. It was Luffy, but this time he brought his sidekick Ace. "You can," he said, as I was looking up at the sky. Luffy and Ace encouraged me to keep trying, but this time with their help. So this time around, with the help of Ace, on August 10, 2023, I caught my first wave.
Hi, my name's Serena, and this is my comic book that I made called In My Own Space. I hope you enjoy. When I walked in the market, it was very busy. There are many different food stands selling different things. Me, my sister, and my mom all got some food. But later I got really hot since it was in the summer. I needed water. I wanted to go find a vending machine since they were everywhere in Japan and I needed water. I went down the never-ending market until I found a small side street where I found a vending machine. I was sweating by the time I even reached the vending machine. I had some money left over from buying the food, so I put the coins in the vending machine. I selected what I wanted and I waited for the water to come down impatiently. Finally, the ice-cold water came rolling down. I took a big sip. I immediately felt much better. All of a sudden, I saw a cat. It was meowing at me as if it wanted me to follow it, so I did. When I decided to follow the cat brought me to the center of the marketplace. But as the cat started to get deeper into the market, I think I saw where the cat was going. We seemed to be going to someone's house. Was it the owner of the cat's house? But when I went in, the house looked so comfy and cozy. The cat walked around the house until I saw a giant elevator. An elevator in a house? I thought to myself. How tall is this house? When the door to the elevator opened, the cat stepped into the elevator, so I did too. Suddenly, the elevator sign going up. I almost fell down because how fast it was going. I was so confused on where we were going, and I started to regret my decision as I wondered why we were going up so high. After what felt like forever, the elevator slowly and carefully skidded to a stop. After a few minutes, the elevator door opened, but when I saw what was outside, I started to get nauseous. Right outside the elevator door was space, a dark blue void just a few steps away from me. I wasn't even done processing this when the cat started walking forward. This felt like a dream. It just couldn't be real. I just couldn't believe it. Carefully, I held my breath as I stepped onto the platform. A sigh of relief came over me as I actually stood midair in complete shock. I hope you enjoyed this book.
The Evil Furniture by Ian Hasbun from Class 6A1. I was excited that school was over, and I couldn't wait to start my summer vacation. My parents were packing up our things in the car that we were taking to our new apartment. When we got there, we entered the apartment building, and we entered our apartment space. My dad was immediately ready to get to work, so we did. 1 week later, the place was looking just like home. We went to bed, and I heard rumbling in the middle of the night, but I thought it was just our neighbors upstairs, so I went back to bed. But then I woke up again, so I went in the living room to see what it was, and I saw all the furniture in different places than we had put them, so I got scared and I locked my bedroom door. I eventually fell back asleep, and in the morning I saw that everything was back to normal. I was so baffled I didn't even know what to do. My dad was setting up a security camera at the door, so I asked if he could set one up in the living room. When he asked why, I said that I had to record something for an arts and crafts project. He believed me, and he set it up. The next day, I checked the cameras, and I saw that the furniture was spreading their magical touch to bring other things to life, like the TV and the couch. If they escaped the building, they could possibly wreak havoc and bring everything they can to life. I knew that I had to stop this, but I didn't know how, until I came up with another idea. I started getting to work on a giant slingshot. I started building it on the roof of my apartment building. It took me weeks, and in the meantime, the army of furniture was growing. So once I finally finished the slingshot, I needed something big enough to launch it. So I started working on a humongous ball. It was the size of the whale by the time I finished, so I had to build a machine big enough to launch the slingshot. So I started using spare computer parts and I combined them all into a big machine. I could see the army had grown massively big by now, so big that they were all crowding the streets. So I got ready, and I climbed on the machine, which was already holding the slingshot. So all I had to do was aim the slingshot at the army of furniture. So I aimed it at the perfect angle because I saw that they were heading for my apartment building. So I pressed the launch button, and the ball went flying straight for the army. It felt like time was going in slow motion, but eventually the ball hit the army, and in a flash of light, everything was back to normal. Everything that the original furniture had transformed was back to normal. There was a lot of damage to the streets and the sidewalks because of the giant ball, but I was just relieved that everything was finally back to normal. I was so exhausted that I fell asleep right on the spot. That was also pretty much the end of my summer vacation as well. I couldn't believe it, but I had basically spent the whole summer battling an army of furniture. Isn't that funny? Anyway, I hope that next summer will be a little more enjoyable. The end. Thank you for listening to The Evil Furniture by Ian Hasbun from Class 6A1. Bye!